Last week in Circuit of the Americas, Red Bull and Reese Dainty put one hand on the trophy, and now he might have two hands on the trophy coming out of Mexico. Welcome to Mexico City, the Mexican Grand Prix. We'll get to things in just a moment. Just want to explain, for those of you watching, the title race and everything you need to know about it. So if Reese Dainty comes out of here today with Scyther not showing up at any point in the qualifying or the race, Reese Dainty can win the title today. However, if Scyther does show up and late shows once again, just like last week in Texas, it is Scyther who needs to gain 10 points on Reese Dainty to have a chance. However, Reese Dainty has a qualifying ban for penalty points accumulated in certain incidents. He made a late move on ads late in the race last week, got himself a small penalty, lost a spot to Cryptic. So, in all fairness, he didn't do too much damage to himself, but it's going to be in the back of the grid for Reese. For Red Bull need to outscore Ferrari by 12 points. So, big stuff on hand. I'm your commentator, RyanOcon31. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to have Titan Ironwolf back alongside me. Welcome back, buddy.
It's good to be back. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on hand for Tier 1 commentary, but here we are for and this is going to be for Reese. I mean, what a journey he has had so far this season, and yeah, I'm just at a bit of a loss of words for Reese's journey so far, and it just all comes down to today. If Scyther shows up, we may have another fight on our hands. If he does not, well, Reese is going to do what he's been alluded to that has missed him for a few seasons: a driver's championship.
Second in the championship twice. It would be the first driver to get the championship after being second in the championship more than once. Reese Dainty, a second place finish in the Drivers' Championship in Season 5. He was over 100 points back from Luke. And in Season 8, where he was behind the fake TB, who we can now call the most recent reigning champion before we crown another one. Season 8 champion last season. That was crowned in Brazil. If we don't get the championship today, it surely will be crowned in Brazil next week before Vegas.
Very true indeed. So, like I said before, Reese has had quite a journey so far, and once Reese does get his hands on the trophy, well, I just watched Beatnik just dump it on the final corner. Anywho, to win not only the Tier 1.
Yeah, it's incredible to think that he would be able to reach that, being the first, not only the first driver to do so, but the fact of the matter that he'd be able to reach. I'm really shocked myself that. In my eyes and everyone else's eyes, we could agree probably Reese deserves this title if he does get it today. Grandpa, we have just watched on a lap. I know the stream's a little laggy. I might have to fix that. My apologies. That is on my end, actually. I don't know what is happening. Either way, Grandpa has set a lap. We'll go on board with someone who's starting a lap, but for our headlines, we should definitely go over that. The stream is glitching on my end. I probably should try to fix that. It's just come back to my voice. Okay, let's keep going for now. I need to refresh quickly just to check this. Oh boy, that's not good. For those of you who hear me, give me a notification in chat that you can hear me. In fact, I would like to know. I think the glitching with the screen has fixed itself. I think we're good now. We should be. Headlines. Let's go over some headlines. TB was not here last week. He returns. Kipu is in the Williams as well. Minico in the Mercedes for this week. Molly loaned to Aston Martin. Boss Cookie, again, back at AlphaTauri once again. Grogger's at Haas this time instead of Ferrari. Josh making a return as well. He's won in 2 of his last 3 starts back at Ferrari. Grandpa and Alfa Romeo. Bottas's loan, instead of it being Haas, switches to Alfa Romeo. And a couple other things. Jim Bob left, making Tadpole the team principal at Alpine. He had a good finish here last season, Tadpole did, so looking to do so once again. TTM Barney is supposed to make his Aston Martin debut. I don't see him in here, but that is why I believe Molly has went in the Aston Martin last moment. And obviously, as we've noted, Red Bull can win the Constructors title, and Reese can win the Driver's title.
Completely agree with you on that one. I'm currently, I know the viewers are not going to be seeing it on your end, but on my end, I'm currently on board with the Aston Martin of Mally. Now, Mally, just a little bit of a minor history for you here. The inaugural F2 champion, Season 2 Tier 1 champion. Here he comes across the line. And it's 4th fastest with a 17.3 in the Aston Martin. Not a bad lap for him. And TB responded with a 17.1. That puts him 3rd fastest.
I've been watching the stream while you've been talking, and no lag on my end. So whatever the lag was there at the beginning of the stream, I think you saw it as well when you're watching the Twitch stuff as well. It was not good from my end, and I thought, oh boy, we might have to restart the stream, but we're actually good. We're actually much better. So for those of you who had a little shakiness in terms of watching, that is why. L74G, the best statistical driver in RPL, about to start a lap here in Mexico. It was a very interesting thing with him last season because he was up there with Josh, was up there with TB late in the race. It was 3 different teams, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, on podium in the end. TB, Luke, and Josh last season in Mexico. Haas got double points, Alfa Romeo got double points, and Alfa Romeo got points, sorry, and AlphaTauri got double points, excuse me. And Reese came back to finish P5. And in fact, the last time Reese had a qualifying ban Titan, he ended up clawing his way through the field at Texas. Was probably going to finish P5, P6 last season, but I believe he crashed out with just a couple laps remaining.
Yeah, he did. He crashed out with 2 to go, which unfortunately knocked him out of the hunt for getting a driver's championship. It came down to TB and Scyther. Crazily enough, it's at this track was where TB wound up finishing ahead and wound up collecting his driver's championship at this track last season. And Reese being able to do that, this will be the 2nd time in a row, the 2nd season in a row, that the Tier 1 World Drivers' Championship was decided at this track. And Luke, wowee, what a lap. 16.515. He's just under 2/10 behind a pole person of Q1, that being T.S. Korsman. And, there's still quite a bit of time, and there's still a few drivers yet to get some laps out.
Must be said, Korsman thinks he's safe. He's retired from the session, believing he is. I would agree with that myself, because the Shazoo driver showing very strong pace so far. You can see Cryptic now slots in 3rd fastest, crossing the line. We'll go on board with somebody who's actually starting a lap. My bad on that one. It's the Chillers next. We'll go on board while we talk about all the drivers. Couple things to mention. Obviously, Cryptic, top 4, separated from Grandpa by 5/10. All those guys should be safe. And it's a bottom 2 who will get eliminated. Could be bottom 3 with Borbin joining mid-session, according to Beatnik. And one other thing, Groggers, the team principal of Ferrari, has just made it very clear a contract thing in his, a breach in his contract from Scyther has led to him being dropped to reserve for poor attendance. So it looks like Scyther's gonna have a trickier spot to get in this lobby if he even wants to race today. Ooh, invalidated.
Well, one thing I will mention about that is that um, next season, Scyther, he is going to be going to McLaren, and
Yes.
when it was discussed, when it was discussed with the team principals and stuff, there was some talk into deciding what in the world they were going to do with Scyther, if they were planning on just like making sure that he doesn't want to race, or possibly maybe they want to trade him. We don't. It was still up in the air last I knew of, but
Right.
anything is possible in that sense. Looks like, as you mentioned, Cryptic want to go in for fastest. He's called it for Q1, and he is definitely going to be safe and through. But there's only 5 drivers yet to get a lap in, that being the Chiller, Beatnik, Minico, Redfire, and Tadpole. And I could be mistaken. Wasn't Minico in the Mercedes last week?
Aston Martin last week. I think Mercedes at the previous week or Japan. I'm trying to think now. Um, it was, I believe, Japan. I'll have to check. Either way, he did get points last week though on that Aston Martin. I know for sure he was Aston Martin last week. It's either Japan or um the week before that he was Mercedes. Redfire is coming through the stadium section now to set a lap. He's one of those drivers you just mentioned. Got to set a lap. Redfire hugging that inside curb. You're going to see a lot of drivers do so coming to the line. And this field is extremely close from, I would say, 6 on back. And make it now 6 on back from Tadpole, as Tadpole sets an extremely good lap for Alpine. He's been good here every time in Tier 1. Sets a lap ahead of Grandpa. TB ahead of the other Alfa Romeo of Botas. We'll call him Annex, whatever. Either way, he's changed his gamer tag 3 times now, so that's gonna mess with us. I mean, what do you want to call him? Annex, Bearman, Botas? I mean, I'm all messed up by it. There's not enough players. What? Are you seeing this on my end? You saw that on my end. Did you see that on my end?